I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Oh my gosh, I was yawning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Dad Joke Wednesday. Hello. We're almost through the week, you guys. We're halfway through. Okay, coming up on the show, the new Congress already sucks. They suck, you guys. Also, Biden woke up from his nap and he decided to weigh in on the drone thing. It's nice. They're a little late, but
yeah.
Thank you for showing up, Mr. President.
Welcome to this party.
Welcome to the party, pal. And then Candace Owens, she confronts Lily Phillips, that whore who's gonna sleep
the
with
chick
1,000.
that slept with 100 men in a day and now wants to make it 1,000.
Right. I mean, yeah. Anyways, all that and so much more coming up on the show today. Make sure that you're subscribed to this podcast. Have you guys done that? Have you clicked the button, subscribe to the podcast? Also, you can check out all of our socials and everything, chicksontheright.com/links. Also, you guys, if you haven't already, the perfect gift is awaiting you at omahasteaks.com. You can save 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com during the Christmas gift buying season. Plus, you can get an extra $30 off with promo code CHICKS. Do it. omahasteaks.com. Do it.
Why would you not? Why would you not?
I don't know. It's good stuff. Fillets every day. Fillets.
You guys, there's a lot of stuff going on that is unrelated to each other. So today's show is going to be very disjointed. Just letting you know now. And we've got a lot mishmashery. There's a lot of headlines to get to. Excuse me, that don't have anything to do with each other, but are all important. And we're going to try to get to everything. Namely, the first thing, this is so depressing. Like, just when I have hope for the youth of our generation who helped get Trump elected, then I find out that they are completely lacking in humanity. Case in point, there was a recent poll, United Healthcare CEO killing. Is it acceptable or unacceptable? They asked people based on their age group. The older you were, the more unacceptable it was. But if you were between the ages of 18 and 29, half and half, you guys. Half and half. Like, what? How do people think this is okay?
Well, our kids are troubled, and there's a lot of indoctrination happening in schools and just in general. I think that our kids they're being taught that these people suck, success sucks, billionaires suck, America sucks. I mean, it's like this. So they're like, and you're right, they're not taught to value life. They're just not. So
it's so sad. I mean, because that's not a sustainable culture, you guys. And Franklin's dug into the poll saying 41% of adults under 30 consider the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson acceptable, more than the 40% in the same demographic who say it's not. And this is a very ideological thing. 22% of Democrats say they found the killing acceptable, compared to 16% of independents and just 12% of Republicans. But who are those? Who are the 12%?
Who's the 12%? I totally agree.
What in the world?
Yeah. I think the 12% is people like the head of the NCAA, who I found out yesterday. That guy, I can't remember his name now, but that dude, he's a Republican. Like,
is he really?
I did some research. I honestly, I cannot remember his name now. Charlie Baker is his name. Okay. And I was like doing some research on him last night, and I'm like, he calls himself a Republican, but he's a social liberal. And there's your 12%. Your 12% are those people who are like, I'm a Republican, but socially, I'm really leftist. It's like, then you're not a Republican. You're not a conservative, that's for sure. There are a lot of rhinos. Yeah, Julia, a ton of rhinos. We got to get rid. Those people have to be out of government. We need to drink the swamp of those people, because it's decaying what we want to make. We want to make America great again. Those people need to get out of the way.
For real. For real. And then related to this most recent school shooting, the 15-year-old girl, I saw a picture of her father floating around, and somehow I was just not surprised to see that this is what he looked like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm glad he likes dogs, but what is that hair?
What is that? Is he a skinhead? Is that what he is?
I don't know.
Just asking the question.
He weighs like he's half of my weight.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. And he's 42 years old. I read that. And she just had zero respect for him. She hated him. She despised this guy. And he was the one raising her. Her mother was nowhere to be found. I looked at her, tried to find her mother's Instagram page. Her mother was just kind of off on her own.
Wow.
Listen, she's a lunatic. The chick was an absolute lunatic, but she had two parents who just were not involved in her life.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what happens, right? This is what happens. I know since Christmas is coming, you don't have much time left. If you're scrambling for something last minute, have you thought about maybe XXXY Athletics? Because they have the most awesome athletic wear, perfect gear for workouts and for just, lounging or for getting out and about. You can visit thetruthfits.com and use code CHICKS20 for 20% off your first purchase. You can get a cool hat like this, XXXY Athletics. And look at this. I know I've worn this before, but you guys, look at the color of this.
I know. I love that jacket.
It's like the most glorious sapphire color.
I love
this jacket so much. This is also from XXXY. The quality of their products it's above and beyond. And then also they have been speaking out about the difference between men and women and the fact that there are differences since when it was unacceptable to say that, right? When you would get banned from certain platforms for saying that. They took a stand way early in the game, and we appreciate that and hope that you support them. You can do it by visiting thetruthfits.com and using code CHICKS20. Get yourself something, get something for somebody you love. It's Christmas time, y'all. Also, remember how Donald Trump had invited President Xi to his inauguration? I don't know if President Xi is coming, but we do know that Javier Milei is going to be there.
My God, it's going to be a party. That guy's bringing the party heat is what he's doing.
Isn't that the coolest thing?
I mean, how much do you want to throw down with that guy?
I know, right? He does the Trump dance.
Oh, he's dancing a YMCA. That guy can party. Yeah.
And then also in appointment news, Trump has decided that Herschel Walker will be the ambassador to the Bahamas. And that sounds like an amazing gig, if you ask me.
Right?
Right?
How do we get that? That's
a pretty good gig.
Oh my gosh. The ambassador to paradise. Okay. Sign me up.
Yeah. I know that's going to be awful. What a chore.
What a terrible, terrible job that is. Yeah.
And then John Fetterman continues to meet with Trump's appointees, and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, which is great. Pete Hegseth met with him fairly recently and thanked him for his fairness, courage, and hospitality. He said, "I appreciate our time together and your commitment to the troops, American defense, and our ally, Israel." And also from a Viking fan, "Go Steelers." And Fetterman responded by saying it's appropriate and the responsibility of U.S. senators to have conversations with President-elect Trump's nominees. That's why I met with Elise Stefanik, Pete Hegseth, just wrapped up with Tulsi Gabbard. Look forward to my meetings with others soon. My votes will come from an open mind and an informed opinion after having a conversation. That's not controversial. It's my job.
When do you think Fetterman's going to turn? When do you think he's going to get red pilled? You think it's going to happen?
I don't know if he's as close as Anna Kasparian, but he's on his way, it feels like.
He's dipping that giant toe in the water.
Giant toe. Oh my gosh. Also, the Oversight Committee in the House came out with a big fat report about how borked the January 6th committee is, how completely corrupt that entire committee was. And they are referring Liz Cheney for criminal prosecution. So the timeline includes Cassidy Hutchinson doing 3 interviews with that committee. And then Alyssa Farah, those text messages that were floating around a few months ago are making their way back into the social media sphere because she is the one that connected Cassidy to Liz and pretty much it was in a direct ethics violation as a result of that. Liz Cheney convinced Cassidy to replace her lawyer with some liberal activist. So all of this stuff led to a report that's pretty damning about the January 6th committee.
Yeah.
And essentially Liz screwed up. She screwed up hard. And it's not looking good for her. Now, she, of course, responded to this. I don't know why she used this obnoxious font in her statement.
Because it's very formal.
It's very, very formal.
It's very scripty.
But she basically ripped on Trump for saying that he's cruel and vindictive, blah, blah, blah. And then insists that the report from the Oversight Committee is disregarding the truth. It's disregarding the J6 committee's weight of evidence, and it's fabricating lies and defamatory allegations in an attempt to cover up what Trump did.
Okay.
She said their allegations do not reflect a review of the actual evidence and are a malicious and cowardly assault on the truth. No reputable lawyer, legislator, or judge would take this seriously.
BS. You guys didn't present the actual truth.
Yeah, where are all those deleted files?
Exactly.
Liz?
I double dog dare her to sue him for defamation and then let everything be put out there. All the tapes, all the video, all the evidence. Give me a
Except
break.
that they've deleted a whole bunch of it. That's the problem.
I swear.
Yeah.
Like, she is awful. And Karma is a biatch. And so I hope that if she gets pardoned, then you're going to know.
God.
You're going to know exactly that we were right. I mean, we kind of know we're right about her. But if she gets so many pardons. I mean, if he pardoned a Chinese pedophile, he's not above pardoning her.
No, not at all. He is, however, he's like sticking it to Nancy Pelosi right now in a big way. So he was in an interview recently where this guy was just absolutely licking his anal area, like, which is disgusting, and saying, "Oh my God, you've been in Congress for like 1 billion years and you've never tried to get rich off the stock market. You're like a man of high integrity."
Oh my God.
I know, it was ridiculous. And Biden said in that interview, and I quote, "Nobody in Congress should be able to make money in the stock market while they're in Congress." And he's suggesting that there should be a ban on stock trading.
Now, after half a century of being in government, he's not okay with it now. When like all of his friends have gotten ridiculously rich off of insider trading. Oh yeah, and Martha Stewart went to jail for that.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
But this does feel like a stick in the eye to Nancy Pelosi specifically somehow.
It
know
does.
They are on the outs big time.
It does, but she's already made her money. And she and her husband are already rich as you know what.
Right. So
it's not going to punish her in any way. It's just sort of it's posturing is what it is. Because she's not going to suffer. She's still going to have her, $14 ice cream and her $24,000 fridge and her mansions everywhere when she shouldn't have those things because she did that via insider trading. It's kind of gross. I mean, I guess we could all rest easy knowing that you can't spend a penny of that when you're in hell, right?
There you go. That's a good way to look at it. Just a quick note about the amazing genetics. Look at the person that replaced Sheila Jackson Lee. Sheila Jackson Lee's daughter looks exactly like her.
Oh my God, that's nuts.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, that is really, really crazy.
I could not believe that photo when I saw it. Erica Lee Carter. That's her. So she won the seat when her mom passed away, and then she'll run again, I suppose, when it's time to run again. But yeah. That's her.
Yeah. Genetics are wild.
It's crazy. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. In other news, we've talked a long time about how, we've been giving weapons and money and God knows what else to Ukraine for a couple years now. And it's been at our own military's expense. And apparently there's a recent report from the author of Black Hawk Down assessing essentially our U.S. military arsenal after it's been neglected for years. And so because we've been trying to supply Ukraine during the past couple of years, now there's a huge national security weakness. There's corruption. And then there's been consolidation of defense companies, which has completely removed competition. And now everything that there is on order and being manufactured is over budget and crappily designed. So Pete Hegseth has some work to do when he gets in.
And there's so much waste. I mean, think of the money that we spend on defense, and there's nothing we don't have anything to show for it.
Ukraine's got it all.
Right. You guys. I mean, that is like the number one thing that we spend money on. So, it's obscene. And the fact that we're not ready if something happens, it's unacceptable. There's so much fat. There's so much fat that can be cut just at the DOD level. I hope that he goes in there and he just starts cutting and cutting and then putting the money where it should be put. Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he knows, he knows that the whole point of the military is to have lethality. He's been talking about that for weeks now. And so that's going to be priority number one. It's why he absolutely has to get confirmed. We cannot continue to have this weakness in our military. So Godspeed, Pete Hegseth. Also, if you feel squirrely about what's happening in the world at any time, and particularly in the markets and our economy and the projection, the debt to the deficit ratios, all of it can be really, really overwhelming. And so it's a good idea to at least get yourself educated on how having gold or other precious metals in your financial portfolio may be of help to you. And the best people to educate you are our friends at Birch Gold. When you text the word chicks to 989898, you will get a free information kit about gold and why it's helpful and how to invest in it and how to transfer portions of or all of existing IRAs or 401ks into a gold-backed IRA or 401k. So you can check it out by texting chicks to 989898. There's absolutely no obligation. It's just free information for you to pour over and then make an informed decision about. Text chicks to 989898. All right. Saw this from Defiant L's yesterday and just cracked up because these tweets are 4 months apart from Hakeem Jeffries. He said back in August, wages are up, inflation is down, and we're building an economy that works for everyday Americans. Look at us go.
Look at us.
Fast forward to a few days ago, and he said, the cost of living is way too high for hardworking American taxpayers. That must change.
Really? Okay. Well, y'all have been in office for, your guy has been there for the past 4 years, so.
And he's still there.
He's still there. Right. And Kamala's still there. So why is that, Hakeem?
It's like, do you even hear yourself?
No. It's like he's the quintessential politician, right? He's just going to speak out of 18 sides of his mouth. What a snake.
Total snake. Total snake. And speaking of snakes, Jim Acosta, God, I mean, even his face, that smug face that he has.
I bet he's looking forward to pressers with Trump again.
You do?
I bet he's looking forward to it. Yeah. Remember when he used to be, He used to be in there.
Trump would go toe to toe with him.
They would throw down. And I can't wait for that. I want him to actually do that again. I want him to be, because Trump is a new Trump. Like, it'll be different. And he will, he annihilated him before, but he'll do it even harder this time. Like, that guy, I kind of want him to be able to do it again, to go in there and just get spanked again by Trump.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Jim, he's just such a slime ball. And apparently there's a guy on Twitter who said, I just fact checked how many times Jim Acosta has fact checked Biden compared to how many times he's fact checked Trump. He fact checked 95 times compared to a whopping 0 for Biden, who lies every like other sentence.
Who's shocked? Raise your hand.
That's just unacceptable.
He is everything that's wrong with the press. Jim Acosta.
Everything. Everything. Which, by the way, I keep seeing like the tanking ratings for all the mainstream media outlets.
Like
MSNBC. But whenever I see how bad it is for CNN, I do think of Scott Jennings. And
really?
Then
so you're worried? You're worried about him? Oh, he'll be fine. If it tanks, he will have plenty of places to go. Scott will be just fine. Yeah.
You know,
don't worry, Marc.
I'm a fan.
Uh-huh.
Also, just to let you know how busy the Senate is right now, Amy Klobuchar introduced an extraordinarily important bill yesterday that really affects the lives of every single American. And I'm going to show you what it is. It's super important. She said, my bipartisan legislation to recognize the bald eagle as our national bird just passed Congress and is now headed to the president's desk to be signed.
Why do we pay these people? Why?
Who in America doesn't already know that the bald eagle is our national bird? It doesn't have to be legally passed as a bill, for God's sake.
Amy's like, I want to pass a bill that says the sky is blue.
I could not believe when I saw that. I was like, are you seriously?
Idiots.
This is what you're focused on?
Nothing better to do. No.
So anyway, that happened. And then also, if you did not see the most epic burn of Elizabeth Warren by Catherine Leavitt, who is, of course, Trump's new press secretary, this was the thing of beauty because Elizabeth Warren decided, fast forward. Did not mean to do that.
There we go.
Yes, there it is. So Elizabeth Warren sent a letter to Trump saying you have conflicts of interest. There's conflict of interest for Elon being your advisor, and you need to fix that. And so Caroline wrote in a statement, President Trump has assembled the most impressive and qualified team of innovators, entrepreneurs, and geniuses to advise and staff our government. Pocahontas, she called her, can play political games and send toothless letters, but the Trump-Vance transition will continue to be held to the highest ethical and legal standards, a standard unfamiliar to a career politician whose societal impact is 1/1024 of Elon Musk's.
The greatest. It's the absolute greatest. She should have called her Pocahontas, though, because it's mean to Pocahontas. It really is to call her Pocahontas. But yes, this is it's a sick burn, as the kids would say.
Right? It's just the best thing ever.
She's going to be great. I can't wait to see her in action. I mean, she's like 28 years old.
I know. And she's already got she's got the snark down to science, man.
It's like ingrained in her soul. I respect that. I do.
So good. So good. And then also Trump was tweeting last night at 3:30 a.m. and he had things to say about both Liz Cheney and about Canada. You guys, he is serious about making Canada a state.
Oh my God.
And if he's not serious, he's doing a hilarious job of trolling. So in one of his 3:30 a.m. tweets, he talked about Liz Cheney saying she could be in a lot of trouble.
She could be.
And he thanked Congressman Loudermilk on a job well done with the report that they did. And then in the other tweet, he said, no one can answer why we subsidize Canada to the tune of over $1 million or $100 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Makes no sense. Many Canadians want Canada to become the 51st state. They would save massively on taxes and military protection. I think it's a great idea. 51st state.
Oh my God. This is so awesome. You know, Trudeau is losing his mind.
Oh my God.
His head is exploding. All over the place.
He's so on his way out. I mean, it just can't happen.
I wonder, do we have any Canadians here? I wonder if anybody.
Oh, I wonder if we do
Canadian
have
here that would like be able to weigh in on that and how they feel about that. Because I mean, why not? It's just like it would be the super, super cold state. They talk a little funny up there. Yeah.
Life. Yeah, somebody is. Life with Weens says I am. And I'm assuming that means Canadian.
Gotta know how you feel about that. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
He could be serious.
I mean, this is at least his second tweet about it. So there could be more that I've missed.
And listen, either that or cut him off. I'm so sick of paying. No offense to any Canadians out there, because I mean, you're probably lovely people. I'm sick of paying for everybody. I'm really tired of it. I just would like to have some of my own money back. So. There's nothing in our Constitution. There's nothing. The founders never said, "Hey, you have to pay $100 million to Canada."
Right.
Sorry, they never said that. So cut them off.
Cut them off. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Kamala's hideous stepdaughter, Ella, just got her haircut. Now, I want to know why she's not getting completely scolded for cultural appropriation. But she got her haircut, and she said whenever she goes to LA, she ends up getting the cutest little fro.
Oh my God. Sorry,
guys.
I just recoiled in horror. Sorry, that was so. You didn't prepare me for this one. I was prepared for a lot of other things this morning. You didn't tell me about this on purpose.
Reminder,
probably.
she is a model. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I'm a billionaire. Okay. You guys.
I mean,
remember when models were like Linda Evangelista and Christy Turlington and Cindy Crawford? They were beautiful, womanly women. Remember?
Yes.
And
I
now
do remember.
There's this.
Right. I mean, what is that?
It's not a cute little fro either. It's not.
And why is she getting froze? Like, I thought again that was
it's culture
that was forbidden. You're not supposed to do that.
Well, only if
that was allowed.
Only if you're on one side of the aisle, you can't appropriate
so.
things. That's right.
Yeah, because I don't think she's getting scolded about it. And like if we got froze and said these were cute little froze, oh my God,
we should try that. You would look great with a cute little fro.
I would look like Annie. It would not be good. It would not be good at all. You guys, if you want to be prepared for disasters, have you thought about having an emergency food kit on hand, or at least some meal kits that you can heat up in an emergency without actual ovens? This is the beauty of ReadyWise.com. They have these self-heating meal kits, and this one, by the way, is pasta Alfredo with chicken. Hello.
Yum.
All you do, right? You put water in the bag, you shake up the bag, and then there's this heating pad, and like somehow you have a hot, amazing meal just like that without an actual oven. I don't understand the technology of it. I can't pretend I do, but I do understand how to make their delicious soups. And I used this like crazy when I was sick, when we first moved here, because I was super sick.
Yeah, I just made a giant
chicken noodle
batch of it.
soup. Oh yeah, that's good stuff, you guys. It is good stuff. And of course, they've got all the other kinds of things like veggies and fruits that are freeze dried that you can get kits of, all kinds of amazing things, and different kinds of emergency level planning. Like if you want a few days worth of emergency food, fine, they've got you covered. You could do a month. You could do like a couple years worth if you want to. And it all stores for up to 25 years. You just need to visit ReadyWise.com. When you use promo code CHICKS20 at checkout, you will get 20% off of your entire purchase. ReadyWise.com. All right. We do need to finish out this little segment with some Scott Jennings, because you may or may not have heard that Trump, I know you heard because we talked about it on our show, the fact that Trump settled with George Stephanopoulos and ABC over the defamation claim. And now he is suing that Iowa pollster, Ann Selzer, over that ridiculous poll that came out about Kamala leading by 3 in Iowa, literally a few days before the election. And then the media glommed on. Trump considers that to be election interference and is suing her. And so Scott Jennings talked about that on CNN with the panel. And here is his take.
Well, when you introduced, Michael, you used the word narratives, and I think one of the reasons Republicans are cheering on this muscular attitude from Trump and pushing back against some of this is because Republicans feel like constantly media organizations, especially in the throes of campaigns, work overtime to create false narratives that may shape the contours of the election. Look what happened. When this poll came out in Iowa, the entire English-speaking world was talking about the gold standard pollster, and Harris has this momentum. And ultimately what we were told was complete garbage. And if you talked to pollsters at the time, they would have told you, this is not real. This methodology is not good anymore. But that's not what people chose to run with because it fit what most people in the press wanted the narrative to be. So he's pushing back on that. I don't, frankly, have a problem with it. And if they capitulate, it's because they don't want to go through the discovery and what that might show.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sure that Michael Cohen was really excited to be on a panel with Scott Jennings, because the intellect there,
right?
Night and day.
I think there was a moment where Michael did say, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Scott Jennings about something, but he's right. The media, the media does craft narratives or something along those lines. But yeah, he was, from an intellect standpoint, this was not an even playing field at all.
You're using the big words, Scott. Yeah, Michael Cohen.
Not an even playing field.
No. No.
Moving on, the reason for my name today is because of Tren de Aragua. And remember how there was all kinds of downplaying, speaking of narratives being shaped by the media was trying to downplay all these reports about Tren de Aragua, Venezuelan gang members taking over entire apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado, remember?
Yep, I remember.
Who was it was like that blonde lady? Who was the lady that was like, well, there's only been like 2 reports about it, totally downplaying. I can't remember who. Raditz. It was Martha Raditz.
Okay, and she obviously doesn't live there, so
right.
You know she's in a high rise in Manhattan. So you know,
right.
What is she? She knows everything there is to know about this kind of stuff. Right. Okay.
Well, once again, if you just wait long enough, the things that are claimed to be conspiracies turn out to be true. Here's what happened yesterday.
Colorado now. This is a live look now. The sun is up there in that state, and police have now detained 14 people and reported armed home invasion. That's the same apartment complex where a lot of people were complaining about the armed Venezuelan gang members roaming the halls. Reports indicate that investigators said that several suspects entered the apartment and had 2 people inside. The suspects then reportedly moved the victims to another apartment complex, or rather another unit on the property where police said they were found threatened and bound.
Yeah, okay. Wait 3 months. I think that the time is 3 months for all conspiracy theories to come true now.
Is that right?
I think that, isn't it like 3 to 4 months now is what
it seems like it's shrinking. The time frame is shrinking a little.
It is shrinking, which is great. You know, so you got your tinfoil hat on. You're like, just wait a couple months, and there it is. There it is. Yep.
Well, and the Aurora police chief apparently had tried to get a hold of Biden about this, was not at all pleased with the response that he got. Here he is.
Male and a female, they were accosted by approximately 13 to 15 armed individuals. They were pistol whipped, they were beat, they were mistreated. One of the male was actually stabbed, he had a stab wound.
God.
So does that fall in the category of torture for me? Yeah, it does. There is a high assumption that they may be affiliated with the TDA gang. I had a discussion with an individual from the White House, and that occurred back on September the 23rd, I believe. And that person basically told me that, hey, once these immigrants get across the border, that's all we really care about. And to me, that's a problem.
Wow, those are powerful words. That was the police chief in Aurora, Colorado, detailing a nightmare inside the walls of an apartment complex known to be home to members of that notorious Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua.
We should take those guys that did that and let them go live with Martha. I'm sure she'd be delighted to have them come live in her guest room, right?
Yeah, because it's not a thing. It's not happening.
Oh, it's not a thing. I mean, they're They're just migrants. They're searching for a better life.
Yeah, everything's fine. There's not a problem here.
No, not at all. Nothing to see. No.
What is a problem, unfortunately, is that even though Trump won the White House, even though we won the Senate, even though we won the House by a little bit, Congress is still going to Congress, you guys. And Republicans in Congress, it's like when they have a leg up, when they have the advantage, they just fall apart. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
So they waste it.
On Friday, the government is supposed to shut down again without a continuing resolution. The continuing resolution was supposed to just be a clean continuing resolution that would get us to March, by which time Trump would be in office and presumably, there would be no more of this nonsense. However, Mike Johnson is allowing all kinds of just added stuff to be negotiated in order to get this thing passed because he's afraid of having the government shut down. I don't know why we're afraid. Shut the damn thing down.
Yeah, just shut it down.
Yeah, and so it's 1,500 pages, which is ridiculous. And first you'll see a news report about this that includes some thoughts from Mike Johnson, and then you'll see some reaction from some of the more fiscally responsible Republican congresspeople. First, here's Mike and the news report about him.
Speaker Mike Johnson spoke about it today, giving a status update. Let's take a listen to that.
Bipartisan work is ongoing. We're almost there. We worked really hard to achieve consensus on a bill that responsibly funds the government into March of next year. It'll go to March 14.
So almost there, almost there. Why is this process taking so long, Nicole?
Well, really, it's because they want to put a few extra bows on it, if you will. This was always intended to be a clean CR, really with no bells or whistles. But again, now a few bells and whistles are being added, but very much needed, according to the Speaker, whether that is disaster relief, which the Biden administration had asked for to help the victims of Hurricanes Milton and Helene, but also to provide more economic assistance to farmers. That really had been the sticking point, and really it more had to do with the particulars of where some of that money might be coming from, and also Democrats trying to extract some concessions in return. So as you know, Nancy, there's always that last-minute horse trading that can sometimes hold up legislative text, but we do believe that at this point, everything has been ironed out, and it has to, because money runs out for the government this Friday. So if they don't get moving on this soon, obviously they'll be running up very close to that deadline.
They're going to have to rely on other insider trading to make money, right? It's like, just
so
shut
sick
it down.
of this.
Just shut it down. I don't care. They're useless. These people are useless. I get so sick of them. They don't do anything anyway. Seriously, what do they do?
What sucks is that Mike's giving Democrats enough spending on new crap that he won't need all the Republicans. And so there will be a standout few Republicans who are just going to be like, this is bullshit and we're not voting for it. When are we going to get serious about being the fiscally responsible ones? But then the Democrats they'll get the candy that they want and they'll vote for it. And then we'll continue the cycle over and over and over again.
He's too nice. He's
way too nice.
He's the school teacher that let the classroom get out of hand. You got to go in there and you got to be a complete jerk. You got to be awful. You got to be mean. And then you can let up a little bit once you got him. Yeah. He went in there and he was too nice. He's just too nice. He is. He's not. We need a guy or a woman in that position that is just a ball busting pit bull, and he ain't it. He's just not. I like him. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I like him. He seems like a very, very nice man. That position, you've just got to be a ball buster. And
I sympathize just because we do have such a razor thin majority. And so he's in this impossible position where if enough people say, nope, we're going to shut the government down because now it's Republicans in charge and we want you to get the blame for that, then he has to play ball because we don't have enough Republican votes. We just don't. It sucks, but that is the position he's in.
I get it, but I don't think it's an impossible position. I just think that there's probably a person out there that probably could handle that position better than he could. I don't think it's impossible. I think it can be done. It's just maybe he's not.
Yeah, but do we want that fight again? Because
I know I don't. You're right. I'm just sick of these people across the board. I'm just sick of them. They're overpaid. They're probably asking for a cost of living raise. They're probably
God.
You know what I mean? They're probably asking for more money. And I just I can't, it's hard for me to even talk about these people without getting in an absolute rage and my blood pressure going up because I don't think I'm alone because they're useless.
Absolutely useless. You guys, we are both wearing our MAGA dark red lipstick today. I don't know if you noticed, but we are. This is what it looks like in the tube. This is how I apply it. Literally tap, tap, tap.
It's a tap, tap, tap. Yeah.
I mean, you don't hardly need any. Because it's such a powerful stain and it's so soft and luxurious. This is amazing stuff. And then if you prefer the original red, the MAGA red, this is what that color looks like in the tube,
which is also very pretty. Too. Right.
Just gorgeous. And then of course the packaging looks like that. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous packaging. The MAGA dark red comes in a black box that's similar. These are both collector's items. And so many people have sent photos of themselves wearing it. All of our folks that have tried it look absolutely gorgeous in it. And you will too. It just somehow works with everybody's skin tone. I don't know how. That's a whole other benefit. But now, of course, there's huge sales. And the MAGA dark red is available now for shipping. So if you were waiting, you don't have to wait any longer. It is available. You can just visit gored47.com/chicks. They've got a couple different specials. If you are just getting one, you can use code CHICKS15 off to get 15% off one item. Or if you're getting two or more, you're going to get 25% off when you use code CHICKS25 off. Again, gored47.com/chicks. So let's now go to the people that are pushing back. And thankfully, there are several. One of them is Representative Burleson, who just said that it is a complete dumpster fire. Here is video of him.
So what are your thoughts on this here? Have you seen the text at all?
It's a total dumpster fire. I think it's garbage. This is what Washington, D.C. has done. This is why I ran for Congress to try to stop this. And sadly, this is happening again. I think that it's shameful that people that celebrate Doge coming in, and yet we're going to vote for another $1 billion to be added to the deficit.
Right.
And so it's ironic.
What does this mean for Speaker Johnson's future?
Yeah, what does it mean? What does it
Personally, I'm disappointed. I think that he can do better. He can communicate better. The fact that we haven't seen the language today and we're supposed to vote on it this week is unacceptable.
Yeah. It's 1,500 pages. Like the very least you could do is maybe show it to him, I don't know, more than the day before Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, wasn't this a Republican thing that they were promising that there would always be all this time to read it? And you know what I mean? And they don't even keep their own promises.
No.
It's so infuriating.
He's becoming you have to pass the bill to see what's in it. Okay, Nance. No, we're not that. Like, at least do that. These people.
I know.
Insufferable. They're absolutely insufferable.
And here's a representative from my own now home state of South Carolina. This is Representative Ralph Norman, also very, very frustrated.
Evidently going to take a 1,800-page document that we really hadn't read and going to pass it, add more debt. Very frustrating. It's opposite of what the Dose Commission is trying to do. So am I voting for it? No, I'm not.
Does a lot of this blame fall on the Speaker and the rest of GOP leadership?
I think if we're going to continue, and I just said this, we're going to continue to let the Democrats use the shut the government down, I dare you. If we're going to continue to capitulate, we're going to be in the same box. Now's the time. The American people spoke, 76 million of them, and gave us a clear signal.
Are you frustrated with Speaker Johnson yourself?
I like Mike. I'm frustrated with the outcome.
Well, I mean, he's part and parcel to that outcome, and that, I guess it kind of goes with what I said. He seems like a very nice man.
Right.
He's probably lovely. Be nice to have, a lunch with him and discuss other things besides this. Because I would get really upset about it.
He hangs out with Trump all the time. I mean, he was in the box with him at the Navy game, at the Army Navy game. Yep. He's with him all the time. So I have to wonder what those conversations are like right now. Well, you know what I mean?
Because who was that dude that we were just watching? Who is it? Who is that?
Ralph Norman.
Okay. All right. That guy, he hit the nail on the head. And we said, all these 76 million people, we gave them a mandate. You better get that mandate done. And they're not doing it. They're not doing it. So it's everything else has been going very smoothly, except for you yahoos who want to do the same old, same old. That ain't going to fly. You need to make some changes. Like, you're going to have to just rearrange the way that you think about things, because you can't just do the same thing and expect a different result. You got to shake some things up.
Well, and that of all the people that were going to be mad about this, Chip Roy was definitely going to be one of those people. Here was his reaction coming out of the meeting.
Swamp's going to swamp, right? 1,400 pages. Still haven't seen the text. Multiple subject matters. Important healthcare legislation in the context of extenders piled on the back of a 3-month CR with about $110 billion unpaid for, $25 billion of healthcare policy, half of which is fake pay for, being sold that is pay for because they're gimmicks and shuffling around the decks. Things like E15, which we didn't even have a full debate on. This is not the way to do business, right? And so, we said we'd do something different. Since we've been given the majority again, we're adding $30 billion in literally totally unpaid for additional deficit spending just since November 5th in 45 days. I don't see how that's doing what we're supposed to be doing.
How much of the blame falls on the Speaker?
Yeah, I mean, right now we'll keep trying to move forward. The conference itself owns this, right? And the conference needs to decide whether we're actually serious about spending. And they talk about, well, we got to do mandatory spending reform and bend the curve. But we just voted on a $200 billion shift of dollars in Social Security that's going to shorten the time when Social Security expires or goes bankrupt. We're just fundamentally unserious about spending. And as long as you got a blank check, you can't shrink government. If you can't shrink government, you can't live free.
Yes. Oh my God. The last two statements, just right on. It's like they just continue to have a blank check. So what the hell do they care? They don't care.
Nothing changes.
It's a broken record, you guys. Something has got to give. And I don't know what it is that we need to do to make these people change, but they get in there and they do have a blank check. It's just like the coddled kid who's never expected to get out of the house. Like they're never expected to actually work because they're entitled and they're spoiled and they were born into it because they keep getting checks from mommy and daddy. They're never going to be ambitious enough to do any, like to make any internal changes.
Right.
They're lazy. These people are lazy. Oh my God.
I know. It is so maddening. Now there is some hope, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how this would work, but Rand Paul is saying apparently that he's announced plans to delay the passage of this. Basically, it's a minibus CR spending bill, which has to be approved by Friday to avoid the government shutdown. He's saying that he's going to obstruct it unless it includes spending cuts, which would potentially push the Senate vote beyond the deadline and shut down the government. So
leave it to Paul. Yeah.
I mean, I hope, right? I hope that's,
yeah.
I hope that he has that power. There's other people that are weighing in on this. Of course, on Twitter, Daniel Horowitz saying, hey, Speaker Johnson, for the life of me, I can't understand why you would do an omnibus right before taking over a trifecta and not instead just pass a simple CR. Representative Luna said, we are literally being held hostage with the CR. Why was Helene and Milton funding not a standalone vote?
Exactly.
We can vote on post offices as standalone votes, but not disaster relief. I mean, and then Sassafras 84, I don't know who that is, but she said, if Republicans don't have time to read the bill, just don't pass it. Vote no. It's not that hard, folks. It's common sense.
She's 100% correct. Yeah.
And then the co-host of Steve Bannon's War Room, Natalie Winters, she has decided that CR no longer stands for continuing resolution. Here's what she thinks it stands for.
If Democrats had won this most recent election, we would be in jail right now, and you wouldn't even be able to watch this show. And we won with an overwhelming mandate. And House Republicans don't really seem to get that 77 million Americans just voted for them to stop this performative BS that they're doing right now. Right? And it's not even a CR. It's effectively an omnibus. But maybe the CR stands for what? Cuck Republicans? Because that's what you are.
She's so right. She's 100% correct. Yeah. They don't get it, man. They don't get it because they don't have to, because they're spoiled and they're entitled, just like the Democrats.
Yeah.
We got to do something about that. We got to clean house. Some of these people need to be cleaned out or just not paid.
Yeah. That would
not
be
paid.
And I wish that was part of a government shutdown, right? But it of course never is.
I know.
But again, I don't see, this is not going to be the end of the world if we're shut down. It's just not. I mean, so some parks are going to close. I don't even understand why that happens, but whatever. Some parks are going to close. Some checks will be delayed. Things will be fine. It'll be fine. We need this to happen.
Agree. We do. We need it to happen. Yeah.
If you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the current president of the United States to weigh in on what's going on with all these freaking drones that are in our skies, I am pleased to inform you that Joe Biden has finally weighed in. And if you were waiting for him to say something really profound, I regret to inform you that is not what happened. Here is what happened when a reporter asked him, hey, what do you make of all those drones up there?
What's behind all of that? Nothing nefarious, apparently. But they're checking it all out. I think it's just one. There's a lot of drones authorized up there. I think one started and they all got it. Everybody wanted to get in the deal.
Okay, so that was
Wait. I just want to make sure we heard that correctly. So he said one gets up there and then they all want to get in on the deal. Is that what he said?
Yes, that's what exactly what he said.
That's what the president of the United States said to Americans about the drones. They all just want it's like peer pressure, you guys. It's drone peer pressure. They're all like, oh my God, they're in the sky. I gotta get up there too. Oh my God. Don't their parents teach them that the drone parents don't teach them that they don't have to follow the crowd? What is he saying?
That's what
What's
he said.
happening?
You heard correctly.
Oh my God. Okay.
I mean, wow. So that's it. That's all we're getting from the current president of the United States.
And
that's all we're going to
like
get.
5 weeks after they've been flying around. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Joe. Great legacy you got there. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job, you.
And Kamala. Kamala. I don't even know what to make of one of these clips. There's 2 clips of her, both very short. She was speaking to, I don't even know who, it doesn't matter. But you know how she is. She's always been so proud of herself when she thinks she's saying something truly profound.
Right.
She gets that look, that like she'll do the nod and like
she's like, oh, space and buses. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
The unburdened, like she gets really proud of herself.
Yeah.
So she's doing that again. She's got a line that's been obviously fed to her that she believes is very inspirational. And she waits for people to react to just how inspirational it is. And then she giggles, right? This is her MO. Here she is with her profundity.
Test of our commitment is whether in the face of an obstacle, do we throw up our hands or do we roll up our sleeves?
Oh.
And as we approach.
Clever. Oh, clever, Kamala. She's so deep. I want them to keep putting her out there. I want her to run for governor of California. I want all those things because the more they parade these village idiots around, the better it is for us, She is the top, one of the top, maybe in the top 5 village idiots on that side.
She's so dumb.
Just so dumb.
Dumb.
Right. And drunk. I mean, let's just get real. She's drunk, you guys. Scotch. Yeah.
Well, she wasn't done. You guys remember there was a just insane quote of hers from a previous word salad from months ago where she talked about thinking about being in the context of which you exist, or I don't remember the exact wordage of it. It meant nothing, right? It meant absolutely nothing. But so I don't understand this clip because you can tell she's referencing that same quote, but also knows that she's doing it and she has to know that people made fun of her for it. And so just watch what she does here because I don't know what to make of it.
Ask you to remember the context in which you exist.
What?
Yeah, I did that.
You did what? What is she talking about?
Well, it's like she's referencing something that people made fun of her for endlessly. And then she's doing it again, but I can't tell if she's doing it she seems serious about it. You know what I mean? She's not making fun of herself. I don't think.
I can't get past the jacket. Have you guys? She's wearing like the Kim Jong-un pantsuit line, and I can't get past it. Like she constantly wears the jackets that look exactly like his, and she needs to
with
stop.
there's like either a lot of collar or there's like no lapels.
Yeah, it's like she's wearing North Korean suits. She's
very blazery.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get past that and even listen to the nonsense that's coming out of her face.
Well, maybe you should be thinking about the context in which you exist.
I'm not doing it. She did that, you guys.
She did that. And that was hilarious. And I don't understand any of that. I don't understand what we just
You're
saw.
not supposed to. You're not supposed to.
And I definitely don't understand, even though you always think I do, you're always like, you understand all that trans weirdness.
Well, you were a psychology major.
It's true.
So
I was.
I feel like you have a better grasp of all of the mental illness than I do. I
do like a freak show, as you know.
You do. She likes to watch those shows where people eat couch cushions, and then try to understand why they do it. And I'm just like, you're a freak. So we're two very different kind of people. That's why I ask you, what is that? Why are they that way?
Well, and I am fascinated by just how crazy it's gotten. That truly is impressive. Like the level of insanity that it has reached,
because we've allowed it. We've embraced,
that's true.
Because we've embraced mental illness in this country. We've not done what we used to do, and that is, you're a freaking loon
and need to be locked up
and put the kibosh to it and like put them in a place. You know what I mean? Instead, we're like, you're a hero. You're a hero for being mentally ill. That's what we're doing now.
And you're
so,
living your truth.
Right. And so more and more people are like, wait, I get to be a hero for being mentally ill? Sign me up. That's easy. And this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And so there's an example. I don't know if this is like a trailer for some documentary or like a trailer for an episode of a TV show. I don't exactly know what this clip is from, but it's featuring a completely upside down family. So imagine a man, like an actual regular dude, marrying an actual biological woman, like a normal relationship. They get married. The guy decides he wants to be a woman, and the wife decides that she's a lesbian. So that works out. And then they have 2 kids, one of whom is gay and the other miraculously somehow is straight. And this is a family now. And this is what that looks like.
I'm a trans woman. Jenny's a lesbian. Our oldest son is gay, and our youngest son is straight. We embrace who we are. We got married as man and wife. I started asking Jenny little things to kind of push some of the gender boundaries.
I knew exactly where we were headed. We thought we were doomed.
I had some friends that told me themselves they had trouble coming to terms.
We went from a family that no one looked at twice to a family that everybody is looking at.
Having this bottom surgery was something that I had to do.
Oh my God.
I am beyond excited to wear a 2-piece swimsuit.
Here we go. Let's see her.
Here I come.
Whoa. Okay. All right. But did you catch that part where she's like, now everybody looks at us? Did you catch that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like now everybody, it's kind of like transgender kids. I think it's a social contagion because a lot of these kids are like, I was nothing special. This makes me special. And now people will look at me, and now people will like prop me up on a pedestal and say, oh, you're so brave. You're so this, you're so that, when they didn't have anything before. That's how I feel about it. A lot of these people, maybe not all, I know there are actual transgenders out there who are transgender, but then there are a lot who do it because they just want attention. Or they're not getting something else in their life, and they're like, well, maybe I'll do this. And listen, at that age, like especially at the preteen age, very vulnerable, very malleable at that age. And if they're not getting affirmation or validation someplace else, if they can
you can't be a tomboy anymore. If you have the wrong parents as a tomboy, you're gonna be transed,
right?
Because that's just the second you act like you are interested in boy things, traditional boy things. If you have psycho liberal parents, they will glom on and insist that you're really a girl.
Yeah. And a lot of it is,
or you're really a boy, rather.
And going back to what that woman said, a lot of it is because a lot of these parents want freaking attention. Because they're narcissistic weirdos. Yeah. These people, these adults want to be like, oh, look, I have a trans kid. Look how awesome I am. I'm so great. No.
Yeah, they want the attention too. You're right.
Right. The parents are terrible. It's in a lot of cases, it's child abuse.
I mean, it's just gotten so stupid. Like there's the video that you're about to see. I mean, it's just completely made up nonsense. So there's a new gender in town, and this girl, because that's what she is here to tell you about it.
Trigender, which means like a triangle, I have 3 genders.
No, you don't.
Male, female, and non-binary. And the difference between trigender and gender fluid is that I feel all 3 of these genders at the same time, all the time. It doesn't ever shift or change, or where I feel one gender more strongly than the other, like gender fluid tends to be. Also, I should recognize and accept that a lot of people don't see non-binary as a 3rd gender. They see it as something completely separate from the binary of male and female. But for me, it's like a 3rd gender. Or I guess you could call it a 3rd identity.
So does the blue lipstick. Is that like part of it? Seriously. The blue lipstick and the blue hair. It's like a dead giveaway at this point.
And it's conformist, which is exactly what they theoretically don't want to be.
Amen
but then
to that.
all end up being.
They all are the same. Right. This is the thing. It's like they're all in like a little cult.
And then, because then I've always thought the whole term of non-binary is so it just doesn't make any sense because non-binary makes you it makes the assumption that there is no binary. If you're non-binary, you are neither male nor female. But if you're non-binary and you're not binary, then you just created a whole new binary.
But didn't we used to call that asexual?
That's sexual preference. That's like who you want to sleep with, not like who you identify as.
Oh my God. See, this is what you understand. And I just don't care to understand it. I don't.
You don't
and if that's
a file, like that's right. A file
and if that makes me a terrible person, then I guess I'm a terrible person because this has gotten to be such a huge pretzel that I just don't even want to get near that pretzel. I don't. I want no part of it. Because I think it's just a giant pretzel of mental illness that needs to be dealt with. That's what I think.
I would love, but again, because you know how I am. Like I do love the freak shows, and I'm so curious about what makes these people so psycho that I would love to ask that girl, which she clearly is, what does it mean to feel non-binary at the same time as you feel like a girl and feel like a boy? Like how is that even possible? Because she's literally just making that up. She's making it up because she wants attention.
Right. And people give it to her. People give her attention. And her parents, if they are supportive of that and they've like helped to groom that behavior, they also are in turn getting attention, which is gross.
Yeah. They should be getting her braces and less attention.
They should totally be getting her braces and like not buying her that damn lipstick. It looks ridiculous. Seriously.
Speaking of looking ridiculous, Marc Jacobs, famous designer man, he's also pushing gender boundaries. I don't know why, but he's doing this to his nails now.
We're to a world where this conversation no longer exists, where there is no such thing as what men do and what women do and what, it's like everything for me is an opportunity to express oneself, no matter your gender or gender identity. But I know that we still are in this world, not the world I dream of. And these are pretty bold for any guy to wear anywhere. And I think I was just inspired to push the needle a little bit further in the right direction or the left direction. And so that's where they came from. That's what they're about.
I'm looking forward to a world where mental illness is not treated like a superpower. It's not. You look like an idiot, dude. Like those nails on a woman or a man, the nails, like we could just take the nails. Okay. Like just take your face away. You look ridiculous. How do you wipe your butt?
That's true. I've always wondered that.
Right. Those nails, just the nails are ridiculous. But on a man, I mean, stop it. It's like,
but he said it's bold. You heard him say it's not bold for a man to wear this.
Bold is a man working in an oil field, going into combat. That's bold. That takes courage. What you're doing is wearing fake nails. Shut up. You're not courageous. It's not bold. You just look like an idiot. It's just so stupid. I can't believe that people look at this and go, oh yeah, it's like stunning and brave, Mark.
Yeah.
So stunning and brave.
But this is, definitely what Hollywood would do, what the fashion world would do is they would look at this and be like, oh my God, he's such an inspiration. This is iconic,
Yeah, which is why we call it Holly Weird, right?
Mm-hmm, for sure. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, this is the kind of stuff that is filtering down in our schools and being promoted and indoctrinated to kids. This father learned of an assignment that his daughter received in school, was so outraged, tried to call the principal about it, ended up in front of a school board meeting talking about this assignment. You're not going to believe what this teacher was going to make these kids do. Take a listen.
Thank you guys for having me. I am here to talk about an assignment that was showed into my daughter's classroom. I'm going to read the assignment. I do have a picture, but that's, neither here nor there. It says, stand in a circle. Each of you is now gay or lesbian, and you're about to begin your coming out process. You cannot talk for the rest of this activity. I don't see how this is part of the California curriculum for education. There's nothing that it does other than groom children.
Yep.
It's not okay. It's disgusting, and it should not be allowed. I was told by the vice principal of Rancho the first time I called that it was not part of the curriculum. I then emailed Dr. Villarreal. He emailed me back saying, oh no, this is definitely part of the curriculum, this specific activity. Then he had one of his other vice principals call me to confirm that it was really part of this curriculum. I have tried to get into contact with Dr. Villarreal over the phone about 7 times, 8 times, and just failed every single time. He has not reached out to me himself personally, other than the first email contact that we had. I've reached out to Dr. Matt Doyle. I do understand that we will be having a meeting between January 6th and the 13th, I believe. So there is that. I don't think that this assignment should ever be taught to any children. It does not do anything other than groom them. Should not be allowed. Anybody who teaches this should be fired immediately. That's all I have to say about it.
Okay, thank you. Just so that you know, if you've not spoken before, we can't respond from the dais.
I understand.
Okay, thank you.
Wow.
Act like you're coming out. What?
Right. And
why?
What class is this? Is it geometry? Like, what is it? Because it probably is. It probably is.
Right.
It's probably like AP calculus, and this is what they're doing. Because
there's not a single subject that requires any kid to pretend that they're coming out as gay or lesbian.
You can't tell
What
me
in
a
the
single
hell?
one. Not a single one. What are we doing in our schools? Seriously. There are certain subjects that need to be taught. Stick to them.
Mm-hmm.
God,
This
it
isn't
just
hard.
enrages me. It's right. This is not difficult. And this is the thing. Like, we can make education great again. We could totally do it. We just need to weed out some of this garbage and then obviously get rid of the Department of Education. We have to get rid of
Mega.
it. We got to
Make
get rid of
education great again.
it. Mega.
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 Yes.
We have to. But the Department of Education has to go. They got to start rooting out some of these teachers. I refuse to give up on public schools because why would I do that? I pay for them. You do too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why would
that's
we
true.
just throw in the towel? I mean, I think that we can change, just like we can change, health in this country, and RFK can do that. I think that the education system can also be changed. There are people that are good teachers out there.
Mhm.
I mean, I have a friend that's probably watching right now. My friend Jen, her daughter just became a teacher. She's going to be an amazing teacher. So I see people like that and I think, okay, there's hope. There's hope for people in the public school system. They exist, you guys. It's not like every single teacher sucks. They don't.
Oh no, not
So
at
I
all.
feel sorry for the teachers who are really good and love it and they want to do it for the right reasons. We got to get rid of the bad ones. We got to get rid of the crap and the decay in this garbage.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, moving on, because we've talked about this gal that slept with 100 men in 24 hours before. Her name is Lily Phillips. I think we talked about her in a couple different shows. And now Candace Owens was on not her own podcast, but she was a guest. She and Lily Phillips were both guests on a different podcast. And that podcast allowed Candace to confront Lily about the fact that there were these clips that were going around social media, I guess, last week of her crying immediately after she finished that day with the 100 dudes. But I watched the whole documentary, it was 40 minutes on YouTube. And it turns out that the clips were kind of taken out of context because the reason that she was crying was not because she was, traumatized
or hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wasn't at all traumatized by the experience. She felt bad that she wasn't able to pleasure the guys the way that they expected. That was genuinely why she was crying, because she didn't give enough time to some of the guys who were expecting a full 5 minutes and she was only able to give them 3. And that's why she was crying. The girl is just a whore. I mean, there's no
Right.
other way to put it.
I think that people are just so hesitant to accept that fact. Like, they want to think
Yeah.
that she's a victim and they want to think that, oh my God, we have to save her. And like, sometimes girls are just like that. She is like that. They exist. They're out there, and that's the thing. I mean, maybe she just is kind of a skanky hoe.
Yeah, and she has no regrets, obviously, because
Yeah.
now she's up in the ante to 1,000 guys in 24 hours, which is almost impossible. Like Candace even pointed out, that's one guy per 86 seconds. That's how quickly, I mean, it's like she's going to be like on a conveyor belt, essentially. Like I don't even know how that's going to work. I don't want to know how that's going to work. But anyway, she's doing that. She's gung-ho about it. She could not have less regret about what she went through. And Candace, I mean, I get what she's trying to do. She's trying to speak rationally to her, get her to understand she's worth more than what she's doing to herself. But this seems to fall on deaf ears. Here's a little bit of their
to make light of the situation, but in the moment, you know, you were crying, and I get obviously what attracts you to this. I'm not gonna be patronizing in these questions. It's money and it's fame. You know, these are demonic possessions. You know what people will do for this sort of attention. You're getting a lot of it right now because you've, you know, done something. You're saying you're going to do something that no person has done and sleep with 1,000 people in one day. But how do you ignore what you felt after that and how you felt after that and just put on a happy face and pretend that it's normal when it so clearly was not? Like, you clearly were traumatized by the experience.
I personally don't think I was traumatized. I chose to do this. This was something that I wanted to do. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it was fucking easy, but I don't think I was traumatized from it at all. I think as well, obviously from what you might have seen from the documentary, like a lot, the good points I talked about was also very much cut out. You know, at the end of the day, they're there to tell a narrative. And that's kind of the narrative that they went for, is like, this seems like a sad girl, you know, and I don't want people to pity me or feel sorry for me. This is what I chose to do.
Right, but why were you crying? Are you saying these were happy tears?
No, I was extremely overwhelmed. Like, it was very intense. And yeah, I mean, the experience was obviously, like, we had like an hour conversation after, and obviously when he started probing me about some experiences in it, it was, you know, it brought up some tears. I'm a very emotional girl, so I cry a lot.
And you know, the men are just as bad.
Oh my God, the men are vile.
The men are just as bad as her, you know? Yeah, she totally needs help. She does, but it's her. This is the thing. I think people are trying to somehow make her a victim in all this, but she's the one setting it up. She's the one doing it. And she's inviting these dudes who are these dudes? I mean, they are just the scum of the earth. These dudes that agree to do this. Gross. I'm judging them just like I'm judging her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all gross. It's all gross. And no, none of this should be normalized. In fact, it's kind of like, you know, Marc and I wrote in our book 10 years ago about shame and how shame we need to bring that and make that great again. Shame. This is one of those situations where, like, this chick needs to be shamed. It's gross. Like, this is behavior that is just, it's disgusting. It needs to be called out for what it is. Am I supposed to feel sorry for her? No, she's making a ton of money doing this. She's making money, and she's showing and there are other girls on OnlyFans doing stuff like this that make gajillions of dollars every single year. When, you know, like, I've taught my daughters, you go out there and you be a good person in society, you be a good woman, you know, believe in God, do the right things, and work for a living. Mm-hmm. These chicks are out there just being hoes, and like that's prevalent in this age group. Like, a lot of girls out there who are young see her and they think, well, why would I go get an education? Why would I go do this? When I can just, like, get on camera, or maybe not do exactly what she's doing, but even these OnlyFans girls, they could get on camera and show their bits and pieces and, like, make tons of money. It's gross. It needs to all be shamed. All of it.
Well, and Candace talked to her, like, you know, asked her about her family, because in the documentary, she tells the guy that's the documentary maker, she's like, oh yeah, my parents are totally supportive. My mom handles all the finances.
I bet
my dad's totally supportive. Mm-hmm. She's got this intact family. And so, but Candace pressed her on that and said, your mom is abusing you. She was like, no, she's not. This isn't abuse. I mean, she just wants to help me. That's all she's doing. She just wants to help me. And Candace was like, she's allowing you to be violated without encouraging you not to do it. And ultimately, it came out from Lily that her parents don't want her to do this, but they don't want to lose their relationship with her, that they have tried to talk her out of it, but that at this point, they know that if they keep pushing, they will lose her forever. So they just have her in their lives in the only way that she allows them to, which is as a whore. And I don't know, man. I don't know what I would do in that situation as a parent. I just have no idea. Like, outside of begging and insisting that your child corrects the behavior, what do you do? Do you just give up on the relationship? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about that, but if her mom is handling stuff, she's obviously taking a cut financially. So it's all gross.
That's disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting. And her father? How can you be a father? I mean, seriously, it's like, what would I do? I know what my husband would do. He'd be beating the crap out of like every single guy that got near one of our daughters. And that, like, so they wouldn't even stand a chance. You know what I mean? This is the thing. There's a, I don't know. What would we do? I can't even wrap my brain around that, Marc, because
it's just not in the realm of possibility.
No, it isn't in the realm of possibility because there's such a disconnect between that and me. I'm sorry, but it would not happen. It wouldn't happen. It's like, because you raise girls to believe in themselves and have strength in their character and to be godly and to love themselves and to respect themselves enough to not do that. Like, what? I don't want to listen. It's like, we're not supposed to shame other people, but we should. We need to start doing that more and more, especially as women. Feminism has ruined so much for us.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that it's done is don't slut shame. Don't do this. Don't shame her. Well, maybe if there was some shame in this child's life, she wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. She's vile, you guys. She's a vile whore. And I stopped feeling sorry for her after I listened to her talk more about how she just has absolutely no regret. And I get it. Like, people will say, well, she will, there's going to come a point in her life where she will have regret, where she is going to look back on this and just feel so much shame about it. Well, I mean, that's the price you pay, I guess. I mean, she'll be doing that floating in her bathtub of money, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel sorry for her. I just don't.
I just can't, like, there's a weird thing, because I know that you feel this the same way as I do when it comes to parents. Like, I have a completely dysfunctional family, but at no point did I ever want to disappoint my parents.
Yeah.
When I was younger, you know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine doing that. And if she does have a good relationship with their parents, is it really? Because that's part of bringing a kid up, is making sure that they understand that if you do things that are terrible, I'm going to be super disappointed in you. And you don't you want them to have the fear of God in them, that they don't want to ever do that. Right?
Yes.
You want to raise kids in that way. And I think a lot of kids these days, like, I don't know, some of these girls that are doing this, it's like, who raised them? Because there's no shame. And that's not okay. We got to bring back some shame.
We need something good. We have a couple things that are really good. One of those things is the governor.
Look at
DeSantis.
He's back.
I know, it's been so long since we had an epic Ron DeSantis clip, but he was talking about how vets often make really great teachers. And he was pushing back, I guess, on someone who was suggesting that they don't.
Veterans? Are you saying veterans?
Veterans.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And so I loved what he said back to that person. It was perfect, as things that Ron DeSantis says often are. Here is the clip.
Said, oh, military service, what does that teach you to do anything? And they were downplaying it. And I'm just thinking to myself, I would take somebody that served multiple tours in Afghanistan and that experience over somebody that went to the Harvard School of Education and learned intersectional Marxism. I would take that any day of the week and twice on Sunday over that. Right. So this is valuable experience.
It's true. I love that. He recognizes that. Good for him.
I've missed him.
I too. He's been awfully quiet lately,
Yeah.
He's been kind of doing his Florida thing, and
he's been doing it great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, friend of the show, Nick Freitas, he's been on our show before. It's been a while. But he spoke out after this most recent school shooting, and he just broke down the whole ridiculousness of the gun control conversation so well in a minute and a half that we just had to share it with you guys. Take a listen.
It's quick, but it's difficult given the topic. There's been another school shooting, which means there will inevitably be a lot of people calling for greater restriction of private gun ownership. And I understand that impulse, but I just want to ask this simple question. If we're genuinely concerned about problem solving, gun ownership in the United States has been prolific since our founding. It's almost 250 years. Gun ownership of semi-automatic rifles and pistols has been prolific for over 100 years. And yet school shootings are a relatively recent phenomenon. About the last 30 years, they've become more common. Now, would it make sense to blame the inanimate object that has been in the hands of American citizens and yet never resulted in this outcome? Or would it make more sense to look at the social and cultural conditions which may be influencing these shooters in the last 30 years? Right. I think that at least bears some consideration. For instance, I've never seen American society more obsessed with this idea of moral relativism, the idea that truth is relative. I've never seen American society more obsessed with grievance. I've never seen them more obsessed with this concept of breaking everybody down into oppressors or oppressed. And therefore, I don't think it's a huge stretch to believe that especially young people who are not capable of processing or weeding out that which is a legitimate grievance versus that which is imagined, from coming to the conclusion that they are morally justified in taking out their anger and frustration on other people that they perceive to be their oppressors. Now, if you're not willing to even consider that, and you're just going to focus on the guns, I'm going to first question your logic. But if you persist, I'm going to start to question your motivation.
Boom.
Boom
Love
is right.
that.
I know.
So well said.
It
So
really,
well said.
really was. He's so right.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And if you you can actually look at a graph, what he said about the past 30 years, and it is staggering. Because how many of us in this chat right now went to school like in the 80s, and you had guys that would come to school with guns on their gun racks, just pull right into the parking lot. Hello. Grew up in Georgia. It happened. Didn't even think twice. Didn't think twice about anybody shooting up my school. And there were guns all over my parking lot.
Yep. It's not the guns.
It's not the guns.
It's
just not.
All right. It's time for your DD.
Stephen Baldwin. Is he okay? Or maybe he is okay and he's trying to tell us something. I don't know. I just thought this was interesting and I wanted to share it.
It is all of them. All of them. And not one will be able to escape.
What the hell?
He did another one too. It was very similar, but I think he's talking about like, Epstein's list and all of that kind of stuff coming out. I think he's talking about like there's going to be something happening or brewing, especially when Trump takes office and they start releasing lists and everything. I think he's delighting in maybe I'm
why has he got to be so
into
creepy about it? Like, why can't he be less creepy?
I don't know. I totally don't know, because that's kind of who he is now. We were talking this morning in pre-show about how, remember when he was like really cute back in the 80s and 90s? He did all these movies and he was kind of goofy and cute. He was the cute Baldwin brother, like the goofy, crazy, youngest Baldwin brother. And now he's just doing, kind of creepy.
You have to wonder,
tweets,
like, does he ever even talk to Alec? Like, what is that like?
Oh my God. Could you imagine
dynamic?
Thanksgiving with them together? And Billy.
Cannot.
Because Billy Baldwin is a huge lib too. And
where's Daniel? Like, where does he fit into the mix?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't know. It's probably half and half with the family, but could you imagine holidays with that family?
I cannot.
Yeah.
And that was
anyway.
super,
So that
super weird.
that happened. I don't really know what it means, but I have some theories. So we'll see what happens. I just want Trump to get into office and start releasing the lists.
All right, it is time for some My Pillow talks, and you guys, today's are very, very different than usual. I mean, I think the last two are pretty typical of what you might expect with My Pillow talks, but the ones ahead of it are just kind of all over the place that are not typical. The first, the caption is important. So if you've been a victim of porch pirates, especially at this time of year, because when you get a lot of Amazon packages, if you're in a neighborhood where there's constant theft, you will appreciate this. This guy decided to take a broken television that he had no way of getting rid of easily and wrapping it really, really well in a cardboard box and putting it on his front doorstep. And lo and behold, some porch pirate removed it for him. And they're going to open that up and discover a completely broken and damaged television.
Oh my God, that is so awesome.
Right? I mean, it's like the best idea ever.
Yeah. It is pretty funny. If we have anything that we want to get rid of, we just put it on our, like, I mean, I'll tell my husband, I'm like, let's just put it right in the front. Like, cause we have a long driveway. We live out in the country. So no one's going to come to our porch or else they're going to get shot. But we'll leave stuff way out at the front of the drive where our gate is. Right. And I mean, I always tell them, I'm like, okay, I give it 20 minutes, it'll be gone. It could be like the junkiest piece of furniture or like just something that we're going to throw out, but we'll put it out there and people, you'd be surprised. People will pick it up. They'll pick it up every time. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
I love that. I hate that it's a thing that people have to do and that there are porch pirates, but since there are, it's a pretty genius way to deal with them.
Great idea. It's fantastic.
And then this next clip, you know how there's all kinds of women, Ashley Judd, chief among them, who gets really, really mad about catcalls and says that that's a form of sexual abuse. There's a couple women who decided to turn the tables and they are catcalling guys and they are hilarious. So the they don't just like say a ridiculous thing, but they also are like afterwards, and it is so funny. And what's great about the guys is that they just take it in stride, which is what I wish women would do too, because a lot of time I welcome it.
I kind of sometimes I do, especially at this age. I'm like, okay,
right? Oh my god,
you talking to me? You talking to is it me?
I mean, I'm not going to give you my number, but thank you. Oh my god,
appreciate it.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah. So watch the guys' reaction. Listen to the girls that are doing the catcalling. It's all just perfect.
Call me Little Miss Muffet, because you can sit on my tuffet and eat my curds and whey.
Good guys.
What's up, sweet cheeks? Wish I was cross-eyed so I could see you twice. Hey, sweet cheeks. Can I borrow a kiss? Can I borrow a kiss?
Huh?
I promise I'll give it back later.
Oh my god.
Damn, sweet cheeks, are you Prince Charming? Because I want to see if it fits. Damn, sexy, I like to make you stand at attention. Thank you for your service. Damn, baby, you want to play Lady and the Tramp and give this poodle your noodle?
Oh my god. So great.
Love them.
That is
I
the
love
greatest.
that.
Our friend, remember that the guy that we worked with, Ben Polizzi at WIBC? We worked with this really super hot dude at WIBC. He's a comedian now, and he does catcalling, but the catcalling he does is like spewing like
compliments.
Compliments at people. So he'll be like, "Damn, girl, you look like you would return a shopping cart," you know, stuff like that. Like
yeah, you look like you could win a spelling bee. It's stuff like that. So random,
most ridiculous, random stuff, and I just love it. I love it so much. I'm glad that people still have a sense of humor.
I know. I just thought that was so great.
Really
and
good.
then this was so precious. So a girl and her sister were at a Starbucks, and the one girl who's filming is pregnant and was going to tell her sister and wanted to capture the reaction. And so the way that she did it, because it's kind of hard to hear it a little bit, the way that she did it is that when she went to go order their drinks, she had them put Auntie on the cup. You know how they always put a name on the cup?
Oh my god.
So she had the word Auntie put on the cup and then asked her sister to look at the cup. And then it was the cutest reaction ever.
You spelled your name so weird. Look. Why did they do that? No. Why do you think it says Auntie? I have no idea. That's so interesting. Did you tell them that? Are you being like sneaky? Oh my god! Why am I so stupid?
Why am I so stupid?
So oh, baby. Oh my god.
That is the cutest.
I mean, what? Some of my students here. Oh my god.
That is just the sweetest thing.
This is
so sweet.
Did you hear at the very end? She said, "This is the best day of my whole life."
That's just the sweetest. Oh my god. So
what
sweet.
Adorable sisters.
Oh my gosh. I love
so
them.
So cute. And then this one, again, see, these are all very different than normal, but like these are just things that stuck out to me yesterday. This looks like the funnest freaking wedding reception ever. And mostly it's because the dude, okay, so the groom and his bride are like walking outside into the party, right?
Yeah.
And the guy's got 2 bottles of champagne. And the way that he pops them open is so freaking based that it's just amazing that it works. And they just look like they're having the best time ever. And I want to be there watch.
Oh my gosh. Her dress is so cute.
I mean, doesn't that just look like such fun?
Yeah, they totally look like they're having a great time. Yes.
I just
that place is rocking. It is rocking.
And did you see him slam those buttons? I mean, that was amazing. That was amazing.
It was amazing.
Oh my God, I loved it. It's how I use based. Somebody's like, that's not how you use the word based. It's how I use it.
It's how Marc uses it. It's our show. So, you know. It's kind of like me. It's like me saying get bent. I'll say that. So get bent. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so amazing. Also, if I sent this to you yesterday, I'm not sure if you saw it, but we've talked about the possibility of you bringing one of your dogs on a flight. Somebody has beat you to it. It is an emotional support Dane.
No.
Hi, welcome on board.
Coda would wreck the plane.
Hi, welcome on board.
Look at him. He's like, what am I going to screw up?
Where am I sitting?
What am I going to screw up? I hope he got him like 3 seats because.
Well, apparently, allegedly, according to the story, he did sit in his own seat and he was a delight.
He was? Yeah, my dog would not have been a delight. He would have been a destructor. He would have been running up and down the aisles and just like slobbering all over people and balls swinging.
And like flapping all of his
everywhere.
Like, goo.
Flapping. Yeah, everything. Coda.
For some reason, I do get a lot of cats that are getting bathed in my feed. I don't know what that says about me.
Yeah.
But stop bathing your cats. Like, you're not supposed to do that. Cats are self-cleaning. No, I don't know why people should not be bathing cats unless they get into something really awful. But like, we had a cat for 20 years and she never had a bath because they are very self-cleaning. If you have an indoor cat, they take care of that. That's why they're That's why they constantly do that.
So this is like that's their thing.
That's how they do it. They're very, very, they're fastidious about being clean. And this cat who is being bathed, the look of betrayal. I mean, you guys. I mean, did you see?
Yeah,
that
he's
poor
like,
cat.
He's like, do you not know you're not supposed to do this? Did you get an owner's manual? Somebody needs to give these humans an owner's manual.
It's just, you're not supposed to bathe cats, so stop it.
Yeah,
don't do that.
It's not nice. It's really not nice.
And then lastly, you're gonna be like, what the actual F? I don't know. This is in a whole other language, so I don't understand what's being said. But there's a man tending to his garden who has as his helper a tiny little monkey dressed up like it's from Little House on the Prairie. And I've never seen anything cuter. Look at this.
What are you showing us right now? Oh my God, there's a hat and a dress on this thing.
Con này của Ly mà. Cái này nhỏ lắm, các bạn dùng được nhá. Này chảy mát rồi ha. Đi tất cả không?
Marc is losing your mind, you guys.
Đi ra đi rồi đi tất cả. Đúng rồi, mang vào đây.
Oh my God, there's a basket.
It's probably a boy monkey, and he put her in a dress.
Look at
how helpful.
Đấy, cái quả nào thì hái đi. Đó ha. Đây, bạn giúp cho. Đó, hôm nay bỏ rổ đi. Bỏ rổ đi. Giỏi lắm. Có lấy nữa này. Lấy nữa không? Đây này, bạn lấy cho nha. Ui trời, đây này đi. Con bỏ rổ đi. Bỏ rổ con. Đúng rồi đấy.
This guy
sorry,
probably has
nothing
like
cuter than that. There's
probably 1.25 million followers for that guy on TikTok because of the garden monkey. Jose's like, hey, Jay-Z, you need that monkey. I don't. You know what would happen is that monkey would get munched by the Great Dane. That's what would happen.
Oh my God, that was the cutest thing ever. We have We have some yesterday thank yous, and we also have some Venmos and a couple locals, and I'll give you the cue when it's time to get to these, because we've got some folks here too.
Yep.
From yesterday, Alexandra sent this. If you want to live a healthier lifestyle, I highly recommend listening to the Primal podcast and watching Dr. Yvonne Burkhart's YouTube channel. Both channels have great information on healthy, non-toxic living when it comes to food and non-food items. So thank you for the tip to Alexandra. And then Kelly Wiseman said, Merry Christmas, jerks. Why do cows have hooves? Because they lack toes. All my love. Over on Locals, Judy Flood says, good morning, chicks. And Audrey Krause 5 says, Kamala, please go away. Boy, did we dodge a bullet not getting her as the president. Phew. And then on Venmo, Adam Knoll says, the CR is horrible, but no party wants to be the one labeled as the ones that shut the government down, because if it does close, there's no payments to Social Security, veterans benefits, or active duty service members. I pray with the new Congress in January with Trump, it will get better.
Let's hope.
We'll see.
Let's
It's
hope.
all
You
you
ready?
now.
Copper Top 1985. Merry Christmas to you both. Thanks for all you do and keeping us informed. 2025, here we come. Can you believe Christmas is a week from today, you guys?
From today.
From today. Right. Curio 23. I got a Stairmaster the other day and can't put my finger on it, but it keeps driving me up the wall.
I see what he's doing there. Because he's
did there. Curio 23. Brian Brumley. Why are pediatricians so agitated? Because they have so little patience. Get it? Take my money. Thank you, Brian. Astro Ham. Hi, Daisy and Mock. It's me, Fairy. Hi, Fairy. Have a great show and happy holidays. Fairy is in, he's in Amsterdam, I think. That's where Fairy is. And he listens to us from far. I hope I have that right, Fairy. It's either, I think it's Amsterdam. Happy Dad Joke. Oh, sorry. Nerd Dad 83. Happy Dad Joke Wednesday. My friend claims he glued himself to his autobiography. I don't believe him, but that's a story and he's sticking to it. Keep up the great work, chicks, and take my money.
That was a good one.
Raymond Cromley. Thanks, girls. Always need a laugh in the morning. Thank you, Raymond. Nathan Sangster. Hi, Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
How's Nathan? You know who doesn't know? Scores of illegal immigrants pouring into the country. I don't know what that's regarding.
You know
who doesn't know? Who doesn't know? I don't know what that means, but thank you, Nathan.
Now.
D. Yuknovich. Thank you for the super sticker. Debbie Harris, thank you for the super sticker. And Ann Bly. Good morning, chicks. Please help me to wish my beautiful sister a happy 50th birthday.
Happy
birthday.
And sister.
I'm sorry. Brian Brumley. Another one. Thanks a lot, ladies. Now, Barb and I have to go to the Amish bakery and get a pretzel because we were talking about pretzels. So now he's hungry.
Yes.
Rachel Gerhardt, huge tomboy as a kid. Thank God I was born when I was and have the family I do. I'm a regular gay and femme at times, tomboy at others, and that's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Robert Clark, she slept with 100 men. Who were the men who agreed to participate in something like this? That is a great question, Robert. And I saw that one of them, I saw a video of one of the guys who was shaking afterwards.
He was. He couldn't even hold the water bottle. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. And the reason he was shaking is because he was afraid of being found out. He was like, I'll get kicked out of the house if my dad finds out. He was all worried about being found out. None of them were exposed. Like none of their faces were on camera.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's why he was so freaked out.
So gross. Aaron Powers, regarding that class assignment, my lesbian ass would be flying up to that school to raise hell faster than you can say gay. Disgusting and completely inexcusable. Take my money. Yes, Aaron. The Great Gatsby, regarding OnlyFans, she's not doing anything new. It just used to be called porn and was shamed by keeping it hidden. Legislative OnlyFans content needed. Yeah, I don't really know how to control that.
I just work.
Yeah, I don't know, but I do know that these women are making ridiculous amounts of money. And the reason that they're making a lot of money is because there's an audience for it.
There's a market.
Yeah, there's a market. Unfortunately. Tammy Pfeiffer, it always hurt more when parents said that they were disappointed in you than being mad at you. Yes,
totally.
I mean, right. Happy holidays, everyone. Jose, morning from Texas. Dad jokes to get us through the shutdown. What do you call a criminal landing an airplane? Condescending.
Condescending.
Get it? What's a dog's favorite superhero? Labrador. Why aren't dogs allowed in bars? Because they can't control their liquor. I love it. That's fantastic. Sheila Larson. Good morning, Chick Nation. I dropped a copy of A Christmas Carol on my toe. It hurts like the Dickens. Merry Christmas, everyone. That's good. That's my And Jose, Daisy, love the camo, but you totally missed the morning hunt. Take my money again. I know you guys are wearing camo. I'm not in any way, shape, or form going to hunt. I promise.
No. And I am not going to be doing anything with gay fish, but I'm wearing a shirt from the Gay Fish Company.
How do you know that they're gay?
Why are they gay?
Why are you gay, fish? Yes. Okay, we're bringing it in. Everybody bringing it in. We made it through Wednesday, sorta. I mean, a little bit. You guys still have a little bit more to go of your Wednesday. I hope it's a wonderful, wonderful day, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.